Let's learn more about where we live. Today we will be learning about the Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef is located in Australia. It is in the Coral Sea off the coast of Queensland, Australia. It runs along the Queensland coast from near the southern town of Bundaberg to up past Cape York. The Great Barrier Reef is 2,600 kilometres long. This makes it the world's largest reef. It is so big that astronauts can even see it from outer space. The Great Barrier Reef is bigger than Tasmania and Victoria put together. It is also bigger than Holland and Switzerland put together.
What is a reef? Well, a reef is a ridge that's near the surface of the ocean. It's rocky, it's made out of rocks and the skeletons of small animals called corals. You can see how close it is to the surface of the ocean, all the way up here. I'm a little scared of heights, so I think I might come down now. This means that the Great Barrier Reef is the largest living structure in the world. It's called a living structure because it's made up of living things, such as plants and animals, which include corals and sponges. The Great Barrier Reef has 2,900 reefs and over 900 islands. It has over 360 species of hard coral alone. The beautiful bright colours in these corals come from a tiny algae. The algae gives the coral food. Some corals can feed themselves, but without the algae, most corals starve. When corals get stressed, they push out this algae, leaving a transparent skeleton behind. This is known as coral bleaching. Hot weather leading to warm water due to climate change and pollution causes this coral bleaching. When the coral bleaching occurs, this means that the animals that live in the reef will no longer have a home or food to eat. And this is why it is so important we look after our world and oceans and try to reverse the effects of climate change that we have enacted upon it. The Great Barrier Reef is home to many animals, such as fish, sea turtles, giant clams, sea horses, sea snakes, stingrays, dugongs, and sharks. I don't want to be a shark food today. Ooh. Scientists have deduced that reefs take centuries to build up over time. This particular reef has taken 8,000 years to get this big. That's roughly from the last ice age. Ooh, that's cold. The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are the original and traditional custodians of this reef. They use this reef for food and for travel. The reef has been used by them for thousands of years. They would use it for the sea and the reef to give them food such as fish, turtles, and giant clams. Today, food from the reef is still important to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people also used the reef to travel up and down the coast. They would move their settlements up and down for thousands of years before any Europeans set foot. The Great Barrier Reef is important to the history and culture of the Aboriginal people of our land. For example, animals that are found on the reef, such as turtles and dugongs, are extremely important in dreaming stories. When Europeans first arrived in Australia, they found the reef to be extremely difficult to navigate. The reef is submerged in parts and it's very rocky, so their ships would run against it and become wrecked. There are over 800 ship and plane wrecks along the Great Barrier Reef coast to this day, but we still haven't found all of them.